Hello, 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 hello. I am so sorry for being late. Seems like no matter how prepared I think I am, I always have to do something at the last moment. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.2 pounds, no, 0.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic diet, how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your Saturday. I hope everything is well where you are. And can we just take a moment to wish our friends in Australia good luck, miserable. So sorry for that. And good morning to all who are here. Um, so today I want to talk about something. It's not a very dramatic topic. I'm actually going to shift over here a little bit. Something's in my eye. Excuse me. The types of keto, so-called types of keto. First of all, the type of keto that is best for you is the one that works. For those of you who are unfamiliar, maybe you're starting out a new year wanting to check out something different. The ketogenic protocol, as I learned it and as I have practiced it, is one where you reduce your carbohydrate intake to a level where your liver stops pushing out glucose for fuel. And when the tap is turned off of glucose, our bodies happily turn to ketone bodies or fat cells to get energy. So that is what the ketogenic protocol is. For most people, that is going to be 20 grams of carbohydrate a day or fewer, total, not net. Again, whatever works for you, works for you. Thank you, Cuckoo. Cuckoo is a little late, just like I was. 20 grams a day or fewer. Eat fatty sources of protein. If you want a list, you can see a link to Dr. Westman's official codified page 4 below. If it's not on that list, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. That is key. And stop when you're satiated. That's what the protocol is. So you'll hear all kinds of titles out there. I don't really know where they came from. Some I find kind of tacky, but that's just me. Some people say, oh, I practice lazy keto, or I practice dirty keto. There's even something called lazy dirty keto. I think these are, forgive me, I believe sometimes these are just buzzwords to get people to click on you. And then people say, no, I do Casey's keto. I do Casey's lazy keto. Well, excuse me very much. But for one thing, it's not my keto. It's just the ketogenic protocol that's been around for at least since 1863. And I don't practice lazy keto. Excuse me. I just practice the ketogenic protocol. Some people think, oh no, it's lazy because I don't use the M words. I don't count grams of protein and fat, and I don't do, well, excuse me, but I would not say that doing that is doing lazy keto. I say that's just doing keto, and that the other way of all the calculations and all the measuring and all this, that's just called unnecessarily complicated keto. But do what works for you. Some people like complicated. Some people like charts and graphs. They like that. They like to be told exactly what to do, what to eat, when to eat it, when not to eat it. If that works for you, great. Wouldn't work for me. I was having a discussion earlier with some video group session with patrons just about an hour ago. I said, some people thrive in the military. I would have been court-martialed because I wouldn't thrive in an environment like that. I appreciate that there are people who do. I'm grateful. I just would not be good at that. Some people are analog and some are digital. Some people are farmers and some are ranchers. Some people call it football, some call it soccer. Doesn't matter. As Shakespeare wrote, would a rose by any other name not smell as sweet? If you find a protocol that works for you, whether it is, by the way, and I don't know what dirty keto is. I don't even want to think about that. I think that's gross. Thank you, Jack. Jack is standing behind me. What's the matter, baby? He just was let inside. So my suggestion would be, particularly if you're new at this, but maybe you're not new at this and you're still confused, don't worry about what it's called. Concentrate on what works for you. Keep in mind that things like MCT oil, exogenous ketones, nut flours, nuts in general, what else, are not on the food list. They're not part of the protocol. If you like it and it works for you, muzzle tough. But if it doesn't, step back and say, let me see. What should I be doing? Maybe I should just keep my carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net, and eat fatty sources of protein, but don't eat if I'm not hungry. Just eat. Don't eat if you're not hungry. And stop when you're satiated. That's my thought on it. Jack just made a little appearance. Hello, Casey, and all writes Lita Newman. I will take 20 seconds to give a shout out to patrons. Lita is a patron, and there are others here. They make it possible for me to do what I do. I will continue to provide public content as long as anybody wishes to see it. But at Patreon, and there's a link below to that, I do about 20 patron-only videos a month. Patron-only live streams, about half a dozen a month. Patron-only video group sessions, about half a dozen a month. And you can get monthly one-on-ones with me. So there. And there are other benefits like discounts on swag. Also, you can join this channel now. By the way, I make member-only videos on YouTube. You don't have to join Patreon to get it. I don't make as many. I make, 1 or 2 a month. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to turn my attention to the comments, which I like to do. Barbara writes, 2 years ago, I started keto and watched you. And today, I'm 96 pounds less and almost at my goal weight. Thanks, Casey, for all you do to help us. Well, congratulations to you. And keep in mind, you did it. Someone wrote to me, you changed my life. I said, no, you changed your life. I just might have changed your mind, is all. For those of you who don't know my story, I was morbidly obese for 30 years, from my mid-20s to my mid-50s. I had given up on losing weight after having tried every day of my life to do so, other than a few times when I threw up my hands and said, forget it. I'm just going to be fat. But I would always come back to trying to lose weight. But I'd essentially given up because nothing was working. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. So Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes, came across the white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman, that did change my life. From that day, by the way, today's the 4th. On the 8th of this month, so in 4 days, it will be 6 years that I've been doing this. So for those who say it's not sustainable, as Dwight Schrute of The Office would say, false, totally is sustainable. You can, I eat luscious, delicious food. The only thing I don't do is I don't eat carbs. That's it. I eat fatty sources of protein, full fat dairy, eggs. Boy, do we have eggs. We have 24 chickens now, which is a whole other story. We didn't mean to end up with 24 chickens. So we get a lot of eggs. I'm going to have to start ringing and running and leaving them at our neighbor's house, just, mysteriously. Oh, there's a dozen eggs at our door. What was I going to say? Oh, so I eat delicious food. It is sustainable. My blood work is pristine. It wasn't before. I was going to be medicated for several things. I knew that was coming. So it is sustainable, absolutely. Speaking of Dr. Eric Westman, quick plug, there's still time. 2 weeks from right now, I will be along with Dr. Westman, Jackie Eberstein, Amy Berger, Christy Sullivan will be in Beaufort, North Carolina for the first of hopefully many Dr. Westman's Keto Retreat. So I think there's a link below the video. There's still time. You can buy a day pass if you want. And it's going to be fun. There's going to be music and dancing. This is going to be different than any other low-carb keto conference you've ever been to. So there's still time to get in on that. Okay. Debbie Doctor, hey, was on vacation in Florida for almost 3 weeks. Gained less than a pound with a few cheats. I'm a happy camper. Casey's daily snippets kept me on track. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, you can travel on this. And if you decide, and Debbie, I'm going to recommend, let's stop calling them cheats. You're not having an affair on your spouse, right? That's cheating. Looking at someone else's algebra answers on a test, that's cheating. Deciding to eat food that you decide to eat is not a cheat, it's a choice. Let's not call it a cheat, let's call it a choice. And if you are someone, you clearly are, who can make those choices and be okay, great. I'm not so sure I could. I need to be really true to the protocol. For me, there are lots of other ways to do this. Many paths will lead to the same destination. I just find it easy to do. Now, I find the fact, let me back up. I find it simple, but just because it's simple does not mean that it's easy. Every day I remind myself, it's not terrible, but I'm just like anybody else. And some days I'll find myself kind of idly gravitating towards the fridge for no good reason. I remind myself, wait a minute, back up. I don't eat if I'm not hungry. I say it out loud. When I'm filling up the woodpecker feeder, which I will be doing today, with peanuts, shelled peanuts, I remind myself, I don't eat peanuts. Peanuts can lead to ruin as far as I'm concerned. And forget about peanut butter. Oh my. And Debbie Doctor, okay, I'll call it extraneous carbs from now on, LOL. Oh, good. Peggy, yes, new subscriber wanted to start keto today. And there's no day like today to start. People ask, how do I get started? Next time you eat food, leave off the carbs. That's what I did. You don't have to buy one thing. Not one thing. You don't even need a Go Keto with Casey calendar, which there are a few left. When they're gone, they're gone. I'll be taking a handful to Beaufort. And there's the Durham Low Carb Support Group in Durham, free Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday with Dr. Eric Westman, and I moderate with him at the Durham Hilton near Duke. There is a keto-friendly buffet, which you don't need to buy, but I'll be bringing some of the calendars there, and probably some mugs. But you don't have to buy anything. You don't need special foods. Just lay off the carbs. Eat what's in your house. Just lay off the carbs. You're bound to have some chicken or pork chops or a steak or ground beef, eggs, cheese, bacon, non-starchy vegetables. You're bound to. So eat those. Just don't eat the bread, the chips, and the popcorn. So this is no starch, no sugar. When I saw the white coat video, that's what it was called. I don't think it even said low carb. It just said no starch, no sugar. That's it. Leave off the starches and the sugars. And all starches are sugars. They're all sugar. As far as our liver is concerned, that bran muffin is pretty much like a Dunkin' Donut is when it comes out of our liver. It comes out as simple sugar. Same thing with the vegetables. Almost any carbs I get are actually in vegetables, and I don't eat that many. I'm not carnivore. Oh, that's another thing. There are all these encampments for every type of protocol. Okay, so then there's the carnivore group. Fantastic. I'm essentially carnivore, but not by design. It's just I don't eat that much anymore. And I will gravitate towards the fatty sources of protein, which is where the nutrition is, by the way. This is a very nutrient-dense way of eating. Not that much nutrition in leafy greens. Sorry, it's just not. But it's packed full in something like liver and beef, and the fat it's delicious. And then within the carnivore community, there's encampments. Must be grass-fed, and then a sub-community. Must be grass-fed and grass-finished. Beef, pork. The chickens must be fed organically and free range. Come on. If the best you can do right now is stop at the Piggly Wiggly and get some ground beef on sale, do it. This is not an expensive way to eat. That's a myth. So let's not join encampments when we really want is we all want to feel better. We want to feel better. My husband made a great point. And we were talking about people who will brazenly say, listen, I'll go on taking insulin, but I'm not going to give up dessert. Okay. If you're taking insulin for type 2 diabetes, then you have type 2 diabetes if you're taking insulin. And type 2 diabetes is no joke. And the insulin might delay something, but it comes with its own downstream problems. And you're a health care problem. The thing is, you may not be the one dealing with it. The person who says, I'm not giving up my desserts. I'll just take more insulin. All they're doing is offloading their health care. Not forget about the financial piece to the people that love them. Do you want the people who love you to become your nursemaids because you don't want to give up dessert? Really? It's that important to you. Dessert or chips. Say you don't care that you're overweight. Say you don't care what you look like. I mean, body positivity and all that, great. You might care when you lose a foot, when your toes start going black. And when someone else has to take care of you. And if no one else takes care of you, someone's going to pay for it. Guess what? Covered by insurance, someone's paying for it. Doesn't mean it's free. Okay, rant over. Oh, dog, is Jack by the? You look at Jackie back there, sweet guy. Jack, do not do that. That's rude. Don't do that in public. Okay, Sonia, thank you. I will say this. All $10 plus patrons, whether you're new or you up your pledge or you're existing, are getting a series of cards I'm doing every other month. I'm really having fun with this. First one was, I can and I will. Next one was, I'm stronger than a cookie. And the one that's going out now is, don't be discouraged. Be determined. So I like to make them up and print them up. And some people put them on vision boards or use them as bookmarks. And some people might make paper airplanes out of them. I don't know. But that's for all $10 plus patrons. Peggy S., where is work? Where I work, I see my patients struggling with diabetes and dialysis. I don't want to end up with those issues, right? It's great to fit into a size 4 jeans. I started out at 24 Ws, by the way. You can go to my blog, see my before photos. Perfectly round. But I didn't want to live the next 30 years the way I was feeling physically and mentally, which is a mashup of emotionally and mentally. Hey, Kim Cole, love my calendar and the postcards, great. Sonia writes, I have a fridge collage of the cards. Excuse me, I don't know how I put my beverage together today, but it tastes terrible. But I need to keep my whistle wet. I went from a 14 to a 4 this year. Rachel Marks, congratulations. Whoa. Rachel, did you ever think that was going to be possible? It's and I don't know you and I don't know your story, but I can imagine you say, if I could just get into a size 10, I'd be happy. I just wanted to get to a size 14, and I wanted my clothes to not have the W after them, which means women's, which means fat. They might as well just put an F there. Size 24 fat. Barbara writes, I recently had to get my gallbladder removed. Do you know of anything special I should do on keto? No, keep right on doing it. You don't have to worry about it getting gallstones, do you? No, absolutely not. The liver can produce the bile and everything else that's required. You don't have to take special bile salts or anything like that. Many people with whom in my Patreon group and many people from whom I hear have no gallbladder. Some have no thyroid. Many have had hysterectomies. Many are post-menopausal. Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Nope, nothing special. One patron, while she's been part of the group and doing this, had a kidney removed, not because of of the diet. Her doctor said she had kidney cancer. The protocol might have actually helped protect her a little bit, as the cancer was there and it was very slow growing. Thank you, Bonnie. I've had my gallbladder out and I don't do anything special with keto. This is the thing. People will tell you can't, people have told me I'm not doing it correctly, that I'm not doing keto the proper way because I don't eat a minimum of X number of vegetables a day. There's not a minimum requirement for leafy greens. Okay, let's just get that out there. You will hear that repeated, and then it will be repeated, and then repeated, and the people repeating it or the person repeating it realizes, golly, that sounds like a lot of leafy greens. I don't think I can choke that down. Oh, well, then just buy these food pills. And they're cynically labeled food pills. There's no minimum requirement. Period. But they'll tell me I'm doing it wrong. I'll say, well, thank you. But I'm pretty happy with the results. But thank you for the input. Bless your heart. And we know what that means in the South. I am in the South, by the way. I'm looking for my glasses. I put them somewhere else. Okay. Let me see. I told my family, this is Karen. Hey, Karen. I told my family that keto is my way of life now. It's about my health as I age. My holidays were filled with keto food prepared by my family, who are thrilled to help me stay healthy. That is so lovely. I know you know how fortunate you are, Karen, because I know you've heard about people whose family are not supportive, and some are flat out sabotaging. Here's something that's on the calendar. It's one of the pages of the calendar. Nobody gets a vote on what you eat. Nobody. And what other area of our life do people feel like they can just poke their nose in? Random strangers looking at your shopping cart at Costco. Ooh, that's a heart attack waiting to happen. No, don't think so. But your Honey Nut Cheerios, they're not going to do you any good. I don't respond. I actually, if someone makes a comment, which is very rare, I'll say, well, actually, I've lost 97.4 pounds. What? Yes. But what about your cholesterol? Perfect. My triglyceride is like 54 and my HDL is 98. What? Yes. So, congratulations, Karen. Catherine writes, Pooh Bear, phew, made it through the holiday gauntlet. Man, amazing how crappy that sugar makes us feel. Yeah. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long. Very rarely have I had a situation where I've eaten something that there was someone else prepared the food. Lovely set of friends of ours, really lovely, prepared a delicious meal. And they know what I do, and they would never sabotage me. They just didn't realize that the delicious sauce that was the lamb had been steeped in. The fact that it was made with cherries was not good for me. So I didn't feel well for the next couple of days, just from the cherries in the sauce. So for me, I have an almost immediate, I'm like the canary in the coal mine. If someone is sensitive, they don't know whether they're sensitive or not, let me eat something and I'll just, ugh, gross, I feel gross. So I'm just not interested in doing that. As long as you're trying HDL or going the right direction, the LDL isn't anything to worry about. Bingo. Dr. Eric Westman predicts that they'll even stop testing for this in a few years. And if you go to CVRiskCalculator.com, you can plug in your numbers. It's free. Just plug in your numbers, gender, age, height, weight. They don't even ask for LDL numbers. And it'll calculate your cardiovascular risk. That's CVRiskCalculator.com. Hey, Christina Polishchik. Thank you for telling me how to pronounce your name, by the way. Just hopped on. Someone is advocating keto chow? I didn't see that. No, I don't. All you need is real food. I don't know what keto chow is. I'm not going to listen. Everybody needs to make a living. If nobody sells, nobody works. But this is too important. You don't need any special foods. We don't have anything special in our house. Now, you don't have to test. By the way, you're not testing for ketones. And by the way, someone also wrote about me. I was discussing testing with the urine strips. Person wrote, not to me, but about me. Well, Casey shared her reading. She's spilling over ketones and wasting them. That's not how that works. For one thing, the urine strips are not testing ketones. They're testing one of the at least 3 byproducts of burning fat for fuel. Acetoacetate is what is measured with the urine reagent strips. Beta hydroxybutyrate is what is measured with the blood testing strips. And acetone is what is measured by breath. I don't really use a breath. Someone sent me a breath meter, and it may or may not be working. I don't know. But you don't have to test. And by the way, not spilling over ketones. Think of it like this. That fire, if it was an actual wood-burning fire, but it's gas logs, best money we ever spent. But if you had a wood fire, it's giving off byproducts, right? It's giving off heat, smoke, ash. Something just jumped. My lovely mate is outside. If there's anything going on, he'll check it out. You wouldn't say, oh my gosh, that fire is very inefficient. It's spilling over heat. No, it's what happens. So anywho, you don't have to test. But if you want to test, the urine strips are just fine. It's spilling over, wasting ketones. What was I going to say? You don't need special foods. We have nothing special in the house other than we do have testing materials. If you're going to test by blood, I highly recommend the Keto Mojo, which I like the device better than the Precision Extra, which is what I used for years, and the strips are more affordable. If you go to my blog, tacky affiliate commercial here, if you use in the sidebar of my blog, the Keto Mojo, and you buy a kit, I think you get 15% off or something like that, and I get a little taste. So anyway, there's that. New Year's, just ordered my 2010 calendar. Oh, thank you. They're while they last. They run out. I run out every year. Hey, Lee. Oh, by the way, Lee brought up something, and very few people have pushed back. The page 4 of Dr. Westman, he charges $9.95 for it. Believe me, this man does not need to sell $10 PDFs to keep his lights on. That is not what this is about. There are so many incorrect versions that call themselves page 4. They're all over the place. He codified his. He also takes that money, which he doesn't need, and puts it back into grants and research, because there's frankly not enough research going on. VertaHealth is doing a great job of researching the protocol, but there's not enough. It's difficult. He barely can get a grant funded. So he's pushing that back in. Don't want to pay for it? Don't. All you have to do is watch the white coat video. He literally reads it out loud. But you don't need a list at all. Fatty sources of protein. So if it has a face, it's on the list. If it comes from or of an animal, it's on the list. Non-starchy vegetables, about a cup a day maximum, not minimum. About 2 cups of leafy greens a day, maximum, not minimum. Obviously, no grains. No nuts. Nuts are not on the list, nor is fruit. Nor are on his list are berries. Find what works for you. Like I said, if you don't want to contribute, don't. It's not a big deal. He's not going to lose any sleep over it. I promise you. Thank you, Lee. I no longer have pains anymore. Oh, good. Good, Lee. He deserves it, writes Lee. He's been giving it away for free for years and years. He's awesome and very generous. He is. Honest to goodness. I can say this because he's not listening to this. He's one of the nicest people you will ever meet. He is as genuinely kind and nice in person as he comes across in the videos. And I am privileged to call him a friend. I'm the luckiest person you will ever meet. Vicky writes, I just saw a video where Dr. Westman talks about how he used to try and give away page 4 for free and no one was interested. He started charging and people began to see the value. You know what? There's something to be said for that. Connie writes, I just got a notification you aren't. Hey, by the way, notifications, this has nothing to do with my channel at all. But people say, I never get to see you live because I don't get the notifications. Here's what you need to do if you want notifications for any channel that is getting right. First of all, obviously you subscribe. Next to the subscribe button is a little notification bell. And you can click that, and I think you can set how often you want to be notified. But beyond that, on your devices, you have to have notifications for all these different apps turned on. So you have to go in and say, yes, send me notifications from YouTube. Send me notifications from Twitter. Send me, etc. So you have to subscribe, click the notifications bell, and then on your devices have notifications for that platform turned on. Karen writes, I believe Virta Health has 2 years of really solid research now about how healthy this way of living is. I'm sort of irked that so few people know about it. And that's headed by Dr. Stephen Phinney, who has been doing, Dr. Stephen Phinney is, Dr. Westman says, one of my teachers, Dr. Stephen Phinney, not literally, he didn't study under him, but he studies under him. And they are friends. And they co-wrote, along with Jeff Volek, New Atkins for a New You, years ago. Yeah, it's serious research. And it's going on, but it's slow. I mean, they're not doing 4-week studies. They're doing it right. So it's going to take a long time. And they have an angel underwriter. So that helps. They have a billionaire underwriting. Janice Poetry, what a beautiful name, writes, I've never measured for, nor counted, nor tested during keto, but I did intermittent fasting for a while. I no longer do that either. Thank you, Casey. You've vastly improved my approach. Thank you. There's, I actually take some grief. I don't care what other people do, but I never practiced fasting, intermittent or otherwise. For one thing, I believe it's an inappropriate use of the word. A more accurate description is time-restricted eating. But even that, I don't like the arbitrariness of it for me. Because if I arbitrarily restricted myself from consuming fuel when I actually need it, because it's not that time yet, I would start to have intrusive thoughts of food, which I don't want anymore. And then I would very likely slingshot past what I actually needed because I deprived myself for so long. But people need to do what works for them. Some people I know, isn't he the best? Oh, that dog, Mr. Jack. He's like a canine sedative. He helps keep me calm. And he saved my life the first weekend I had him. That's a story. I mean, he saved my life. And my husband was out of the country. It was just me and Jack in the house. Do you use Redmond salt? No, I don't. I use, and very kindly, people have sent me wonderful, interesting salts. People are very generous. And I use some of those, but pretty much we use Diamond brand kosher salt. Leader writes, I'm having issues getting the last 15 or 20 pounds off. It's time to start writing down what I eat for a while, just to account for everything. There is carb creep. And actually, Lita, we were just talking about this on the patron video group session. We need to come to terms with the idea that we just might need a lot less fuel than we consume. We have been totally indoctrinated into eating a lot of food. We go from eating all day long, and the portions have gotten larger. Sometimes my portion is this big. I'm 61, postmenopausal. I had a hysterectomy when I was 30, I think. I've got all sorts of, I'm an old lady. So there's no reason I'm not grown taller, certainly. I tend to lay on lean mass when I work out, which is rare. You saying around go keto with Casey is I don't exercise. I just dress like I do. But there's no reason I should need a lot of food. Food. That's a Freudian slip, right? Food. I am not gearing up every month to host a human inside of me. I am not laying on bone and blood vessels and everything as a young person is when they're growing taller. So it just might be that we need less fuel than we think. Push the peckishness. That's another line out of the calendar. Push the peckishness. What does that mean? It's like, well, I could eat, but I'm not hungry, but I could eat. I'm a little empty. Little. It's peckish. It's like right here. Push the peckishness. When you do that, you'll find that 6 hours later, you might still be the exact same level of peckish. And then 30 minutes after that, okay, time to eat. Eat if you're hungry. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Okay, thank you for the nursery rhyme. Mr. You are right. What happened with Bonnie? My whole family said that, but when they saw me shrink, my daughter and family do this way of eating. My husband passed away. Yes, Bonnie, from Lewy body dementia, and my other two daughters eat whole 30. Not for me. Yeah, I remember that, Bonnie. Onyx Wells, do you fast? No, I think I just addressed that. I don't believe in arbitrarily not eating if I actually need. Yesterday, I ate no solid food. I wasn't hungry. I was empty, but I didn't have an appetite. So I just didn't. This morning, got up, 3 homegrown eggs, 3 slices of bacon, queso fresco, nice big mug of coffee with cream, followed by another nice big mug of coffee with cream. That might be what I eat for the rest of the day. I don't know. I might have a steak tonight. I don't know. It'll just depend. Not every day is the same, but no, I don't fast. Okay, Debbie Longenecker writes, I have 2 friends who have had a life event in August who have been fairly critical of the way of life I have been doing for over 2 years. Because of the life event, they're changing their eating some. Well, I'm glad they are. Good on you for influencing people. But again, where does anyone get off being critical of what you eat? Where were they? Where were people who were going to be critical of me when I was on my 5th slice of pizza in front of them? Where were, they weren't worried about my health when I was 100 pounds heavier. I was the life of the party. I was the funny fat friend. They wouldn't have been entitled to a vote then. They're not entitled to a vote now. No one gets a vote. And how dare they? How dare they? Are they also critical of the way you raise your children? Or how you decorate your living room? Or your choice of houseplants? How dare they? But I'm glad that they're coming around. Barbara writes, I eat when I'm hungry, period. Mostly meat. I've lost 35 pounds. I'm 78 years old. I've been doing this for 18 months. It's never too late. One of my favorite quotes, it's my tagline under a lot of stuff, from George Eliot, the pen name of Marian Evans. It's never too late to become who you might have been. It's attributed to her. That might be apocryphal. I'm going, let me see, I want to start walking too. Yeah. I love bone broth. Connie writes, if I undereat calories calories will I gain weight or stop losing weight? I have stalled for 3 months, so stuck. I want you to think about the logic of that question. If you eat fewer calories, excuse me, will you gain weight? So if you were a castaway on an island and there was just barely enough food to keep you alive, do you reckon when they finally rescued you, you would have put on weight? No. The whole starvation mode thing, I don't like that word either. Misuse of the word. It's an insult to people who are actually starving, which some people are. They literally do not have enough food. No. If you're stuck, here's what because I do coaching. I ask, you say, I've done this, and I'm stuck. First question I ask is, are you burning fat for fuel? You don't have to test, but it can help. Are you burning fat for fuel? Are you in ketosis? Yes. I'm measuring and I'm in ketosis. Great. Are you overeating dietary fat? If you're, the ketogenic diet is not a weight loss protocol. It's a fat burning protocol. It just means you burn fat for fuel. If you're consuming by mouth lots of oils and butters and exogenous crap, your body doesn't need to burn the onboard fat. It's burning the fat that comes in here. So oily, so-called bulletproof coffee, one thing, it's calorically dense, and that fat's going to get burned first. So no, I don't do that. I don't do fat bombs. I don't do bulletproof coffee. Okay. Are you eating more food than you need? Are you only eating when hungry? And who knows? I mean, that's a question only you can answer. But it's different. Some of us don't know what actual emptiness and hunger feels like because we've been eating every 2.5 hours, as we were told to do. 3 meals, 2 snacks a day, or else your metabolism will slow down. That's ridiculous. If eating every couple of hours kept revving up our metabolism, we should eat every minute of every day, and then we could become invisible. Okay. Generally, you're an idiot, and so is he. So you are going out of here. I'm sorry, I have to take time to do this. Okay. Sorry about that, friends. Some people are just arseholes. Y'all keep on talking. I'm doing some housekeeping here. You're an idiot. Sorry, guys. This is when I need someone to be a moderator for me. Okay, hopefully he's hidden now. Some people are just idiots. You can't fix stupid. And by the way, my husband is South American. He's from Colombia. And he's the best man you'll ever meet, and he's an asset to me and to this country, as our 3 children are. Enough about that. Who cares? Stupid. Yeah, I hit him and I deleted him. So there we go. Back to what's important, our health. Kathy writes, I used to be 5'6". Age and gravity have changed that. I always felt like I could hide a few pounds, but always admired this shorter girls who get fit. I'm a shorter girl. I'm 5'1". Okay, thank you. Monica, thank you. Eating too fast can be a problem. Let me explain why. One of the easiest things we can do that is very effective is slow down when we eat. Why? One thing, that way we don't look like animals. Not attractive. Leptin is a hormone. It is, in addition to other things, it's a satiety hormone. It sends the signal to the brain that had enough. But it takes a little while for that signal to reach the brain. It could take 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. If we have consumed a big plate of fuel or even a small plate of fuel in 8 minutes, we've eaten it all before our brain knows you didn't need that much. Slow down. Our friend Helena implements a mid-meal break, puts her knife and fork down halfway through her plate of fuel, just stops. Or just put your utensils down and chew. Enjoy the food. Have a conversation with the people around you if you're lucky enough to have people around you. 5 went in the house. Beth writes, struggling with sugar addiction. Coffee is so bitter without sugar. Artificial sweeteners are bitter to me too. Any suggestions? I'm going to be successful on keto this year. You will. Can I tell you, Beth, not for nothing? We're all addicted to sugar. It's how we are wired. In my opinion, addiction is kind of a strong word for just you want something. But how do you treat an addiction? You stop using that substance. So there you go. If coffee is too bitter, stop drinking coffee. If artificial sweeteners taste bitter, don't use them. That's the answer. What we consume is our choice. And Lee writes, it takes time, Beth, you can do it. See, Lee's much nicer than I am. Yeah, sugar be evil. Been working at consciously chewing each bite about 20 times plus. And I heard that growing up. Chew your food. Well, particularly if we're pretty heavy on the meat portion, yeah, you want to chew it. You don't want to choke. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of your Saturday. Thoughts to our friends in Australia and everywhere, frankly. Everywhere's got something. Be kind to yourself. Be firm with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Thank you to the patrons who helped make this possible. I will continue to do public content as long as anybody wants it. And you can join this channel and get a couple of extra members-only videos a month as well as a couple of communications. Thank you. Have a great 2020, and I will see you next time I see you. Don't forget about Dr. Westman's Keto Retreat and the Durham Support Group meeting on Tuesday. See you then. Bye.